The ox cart that moved Pearlbuck to tears. 1960, one of the greatest moments discovered by a Nobel Prize-winning writer in 1960, Korea was still a land where the wounds of the war had yet to heal. That year, Pearlbuck, the American author who won the Nobel Prize in Literature for The Good Earth, came to Korea. Her purpose was to help the smallest and most vulnerable lives left behind by the war orphans and mixed-race children. One day, Pearlbuck was traveling through different parts of Korea. On a quiet rural road in Gyeongju, as the sun slowly sank toward the horizon, she noticed a farmer in the distance, pulling an ox cart and heading home. The cart was piled with bundles of rice straw, but then, something about the scene felt strange. Although there was still plenty of empty space on the cart, the farmer was carrying another heavy bundle on his own back. Pearlbuck was confused. Why would he work in such an inefficient way? Why not load everything onto the cart? Why struggle on foot, when he could simply ride along himself? Unable to contain her curiosity, Pearlbuck asked the car to stop. Through an interpreter, she carefully asked the farmer,
"Excuse me, may I ask you something? Why don't you put all the load on the cart? You could place everything there and ride comfortably yourself."
The farmer paused for a moment, then replied calmly, as if the question needed no explanation.
"Why would you even ask such a thing? I worked hard all day," he said, "but that ox plowed the fields for me from morning till night. The day is ending. How could he not be tired, even if he is just an animal? So it's only natural that we share the load."
In that moment, Pearlbuck stood completely still. She soon realized that this was one of the greatest moments she would ever witness in her life. It was an answer that could never be explained by efficiency or logic. What Pearlbuck saw was not an ignorant farmer from a poor country. She saw a true gentleman who could feel the suffering of a being that had no words. A heart that thought not of its own comfort, but of another's pain. A man who drew no line between you and me, but shared the burden with a companion who had worked beside him. In that moment, Pearlbuck understood that this philosophy of empathy and consideration was the greatest force that allowed Koreans to lift one another up. Even from the ruins of war years later, Pearlbuck would recall this evening as the most beautiful sight I ever witnessed in Korea. And this deep emotion became the driving force behind her founding a foundation for mixed-race Korean children, and writing The Living Reed, a novel set in Korea. Today, in a world that chases speed, efficiency, and results, have we forgotten what truly matters? Like the warm heart of a farmer who chose to lighten the burden of an ox that had worked all day. May this story bring a small warmth to your day. This was Moving Story TV, sharing stories that resonate with the heart.